Join Dalton and Jacob as they discuss the ever-changing world of trading card games. TCG Buzz starts now.
What's up, Buzz Squad? It's your boy Dalton, back at it again. Rest in peace, headphone users. I know I'm loud on that intro, but we got the quiet one over to the side. Jacob.
I'm not the quiet one.
You are quiet when I say you are. I'm joking.
Before we start, I'm going to say that Max Dragons aren't tier 0.5. You're welcome.
Oof.
That's a joke that people who are watching this after the fact, after it was live streamed, won't understand.
Right. Or will they? Because there should still be the
No,
chat.
because it's from the other one.
Oh.
Because Jacob screwed up and we had to restart the live stream.
Sounds like most of the time. So, today, we're going to be talking about the State of Buddyfight 2019. Ooh. What, it's been, 5 years now? If you just want to go based off the years, not based on actually when Buddyfight came out.
Something like that. I don't know.
Ooh, five.
The other thing to keep in mind is the reason we're doing this right now is it's actually been exactly to the day 1 year since we did a video called The State of Buddyfight in 2018. So that's really exciting, and I happened to be looking back at our old content, and I found that like 2-3 days ago. I'm like, oh, we got to do this now. Otherwise, we would have missed it, and that would have sucked.
Well, that's if we want to keep it on. Well, we can't get this expectation that we're going to do it every single day.
I like the
every single year on the
consistency.
same day. That's just, we could do it every single year, don't get me wrong. But on the same day, that's stressful, man.
Unless it's like next year, it's on a Saturday or something, because I ain't coming in on a Saturday. That's my me day.
Or tournament day, who knows. So what do you want to start off with first, sir?
First, I want to start off with talking. I know it's called The State of Buddyfight in 2019, but I want to start by talking about 2018 a little bit, because you need the frame of reference of how the past year was to know how the next year's going to be. You need something to compare to.
Wait. Thank you, Lil Kari Knight, for the $2 super chat. He's telling you MK is our best and to come to Atlanta.
Should we come to Atlanta, guys? We're broke, but we might be able to do it. Especially them super chats keep rolling in. Holy cow. Thank you.
Yes, I want to go.
So 2018, let's talk about how 2018 was for TCG Buzz, because we had an awesome year. 2018 was amazing for us, one of the coolest years ever. Personally, I know I'm patting us on the back a little bit, but I want to get through that real quick. Thanks, man. 2018 was great for us. We started the year doing okay, but 2018 was amazing. We gained right around 1,000 subscribers. Ooh. That's awesome.
There's 1,000 of you that deal with Jacob?
What is wrong with them?
I thought I was the only one.
In total, we gained over 145,000 views this year. That's nice. Dalton, Christian, and I, the OG TCG Buzz crew, we all topped at Springfest for the team event, and that was incredible. Throughout the year, we added some new friendly faces to the channel, like Bryce. Bryce joined the channel and started playing Buddyfight for the first time and got a top at his very first regionals. That was incredibly cool for him.
Why didn't he win? We put him through all that training for basically nothing. Just kidding, Bryce. You're going to do fantastic with Max Dragons, and we know it.
We started covering dead card games. We kind of dabbled before, but we really started covering them, and that's been a ton of fun. We actually stuck to our schedule, for the most part, of live streaming for you guys every single week. We only missed like 2-3 weeks the entire year. That's exciting.
Kept track? I lost track after the first week.
This is why I'm the guy with the notes on what we did this year. Let's see. Week we created the idea, the concept that became the irregular list. That's controversial to say, but I'm going to say Bushiroad totally got that idea from us.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we didn't come up with the name, obviously. They had to be irregular with it. I'm sorry. Horrible of me. But we did talk about, like, what, 4 months before it actually came out? Sure, we were basically wrong with every single card except for maybe one, because I think we said Menjo, but I can't remember. It's been so long. Oof, it's been almost a year since that video came out. Oof.
You'll have to rewatch that one. Also, we single-handedly killed Dragoborn. Sorry about that.
I'm still on the fence on that. I don't know if we actually did, but what, you saying I'm too quiet, Jacob?
I was silently trying to give him a clue in to talk a little louder, and then he spoiled that. Thanks. It was so smooth, man.
No, man, I got to ruin your fun. I don't know. I'm still on the fence on the whole 34K subscriber goal. Whew, Darian, that's a big order, man. Let's cross the 2,000 goal first.
Speaking of which, we want your guys' ideas for what we should do to celebrate 2K.
2K.
And they're just...
Do you want us to play 2K?
They're just going to say, go to Atlanta.
Hey, I'm down for that.
Let's see.
Down for that.
We started vlogging. Hey, expect more vlogs. We have some new vlogging equipment I'm really excited to use. We're going to be vlogging some card shop life at Frost Giant Games. That's going to be exciting.
So nice.
And, of course, you'll see us around at least one, maybe two, maybe 7 regionals this year.
Whoa. I only signed up for 2.
With some obnoxious-looking equipment looking like a bunch of nerds. And we're going to be vlogging, and you guys can join those vlogs by just showing up and saying, hey, put me in your video or I'll stab you.
What? But to answer your question, Shiny and Fernape, I like the new Folktale spell. Jacob says it's more of a first turn thing, but I really like it. I think it's going to add a lot of flavor to Folktale, hopefully bumping them up into tier 2, maybe tier 1.5. I really want them to be better than what they are, but that's besides the point. So you want to talk about our personal meta, as in what you were playing throughout 2018?
Everything.
Everything.
Here,
let me make it a little focus for each region, for Springfest and for regions.
Okay. Springfest, I borrowed Christian's deck and I played Thunder Empire. Mm-hmm. And then for fall, I borrowed Christian's deck and I played Sun Dragons. I'm sorry, Christian.
Let's see here. Springfest, I played Dual Golems. Regionals, I played Dual Golems.
Wow. I thought, I remember when TCG Buzz used to be original, man.
But if you think about it, in a sense, I didn't wait until the last minute to really pick my deck. Actually, I did. I was debating between Knights and Dual Golems for Springfest.
Both good. I think 2018 was a good year. Well, except it was a terrible year.
It was a good, terrible year.
Of all the years of Buddyfight, 2018 was by far the most mixed. We didn't do these videos beforehand, but I wish we did.
Right.
But, we didn't start doing content for TCG Buzz till, Triple D. So we couldn't have before then. But 2018, we did our video last year. You can go back and watch it. We were coming off of 2017, and we were not happy.
No.
2017 was a rough year. That was the first. Most of X was done by that point. I believe Rainbow Striker was out, and we were waiting for Driven to Disorder.
Yep.
And we were pretty fed up with all this. You guys know. We've ranted about it for years, right. And so has everyone else. But we're optimistic for the year ahead. Was the year ahead good? Yes and no. I would say the first half sucked a lot. X2 in general.
Well, here, let's clarify the year a little bit more. What would we consider to be the end of the year? Would it be the regionals of that year, or the actual end of the year?
I'd say December 31st.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that, because if we do it to the end of regionals, then the entire 2018 sucked. But That's besides the point.
Yeah, for us, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and also we got to really hang out with more members of the Buddyfight community, and things have been great. But there are some things that definitely left some bad taste in our mouth. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But we had a big shift this year with Ace. Ace was a reboot for the full season. For the full series. I meant. We got a new cast, new characters, entire new archetypes, essentially no legacy support for a while. And balance.
Whoa, rest in peace, headphone users. That hurt my ears, and I don't have headphones on. Whew. Ooh. Actually, that even completely made me lose my train of thought. What were you talking about before you said balance? Oh, Jacob's dying. Yes, this is part of the reason why some things haven't gone out like when we want them, because Exhibit A.
I've been sick for weeks, guys, so please bear with me today.
Almost months. So, we were talking Ace. I loved it. The start of it was fantastic. It brought me my Order 66 deck. I'm still in the process of finishing Dimension Dragons and Blood Dragon Sect, or Dragon Blood Sect, whatever they're supposed to be called. I could just say screw it and put one of the deck profiles out, but I want to make sure it's perfect. I want to make sure it's me, but that's besides the point. If you want one of the two to come out, go to our Discord and at me which one you'd rather see, Dimension Dragons or Dragon Blood Sect. And I will make it happen. Maybe not this week, but, I'll make it happen.
Yeah, so I played a lot of decks. I always play a lot of decks. I shift decks, I sell decks, I buy decks. I do lots of that stuff. It's fun for me, variety. I get bored of the same thing. The decks I played in X, I did not feel a real attachment to any of them. The only one I actually really liked and didn't just play because it's a new deck or play to play was Shadow Dragons. I love Shadow Dragons, but that's the only deck I had an emotional attachment to.
Really?
Right? From X.
Technically, you never finished that other deck, but that's the point.
Oh.
We won't speak upon it any further, but yes.
But yeah, Shadow Dragons were the only deck I had a real emotional attachment to. But this season, literally every deck I've built, I loved. And it's easy for me to say, I'm not really enjoying this deck, let's get rid of it. I'm a guy who likes to purge decks sometimes. I don't think I will ever purge any of the decks I'm playing right now. I love them a lot. And I think that's universal. I think everyone found at least one deck they really, really liked this season.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on this for one simple fact. I'm in love with all the decks. I have a problem. Guys. I no longer have MATs. A little fun fact for you guys. Because how else am I going to get Darian back into the game? Unless it's anime chicks, Dimension Dragons, I'm actually having a lot of fun playing. Dragon Blood Sect, having a lot of fun playing. LDOs, just waiting for the True Awakening to come out to just complete the Order 66. Kind of want to play Cursed Dragons, but that's besides the point. Got to leave that for Will, because he called dibs beforehand. There's other things that just got released that we might make a video upon later, just because Jacob might have some words about them.
I just might.
Yeah, Ace has had a lot of decks that I really wanted to play. X was only really dual golems and what else did I play in X?
Water.
Okay. Wow. Really, only those two?
Yeah, I think I hit a nerve there, didn't I?
Ooh.
Uh-huh. So we've talked a lot about 2018 already, and we've got more we're going to share towards the end of this video, but now we're going to look forward to the future and what it has in store for us. What's 2019 going to look like for Dalton?
No money. Between Buddyfight, Bakugan, maybe Vanguard. I don't know. Vanguard's in that weird spot right now with me. It's like, I have my Novas done. Now I'm working on Dark Irregulars just because it happened. Hopefully Cosmo Dragoons get support because Cosmo Dragoons are the best deck in Star Dragon World, but that's besides the point. Yeah, but I think it's mainly going to be Buddyfight and Bakugan, and I've heard rumors about card games coming from Bushi, but I'm waiting until we get full confirmation on them.
Yeah. I'm optimistic. Mostly, though, I'm optimistic riding on the good feelings of 2018. Because 2018 turned out to be a really good year for Buddyfight. The meta was great, fun, lots of interesting decks, and some of that's going to roll over into 2019. But I'm still a little nervous, mainly because of some of the things that have been revealed coming out. But nothing coming out in the next couple months is really spooking me. But I'm concerned what's going to come after. I'm afraid Bushi's going to resort to
X 2.0?
X again, to Bushi ways. Bushi likes to mess things up every couple of years. That's just how they do. I'm hoping that's not coming too soon because I'm enjoying the high.
Enjoying the high. Nice.
Who needs drugs when you got card games, right?
Wait, those aren't classified as drugs?
Oh.
I've been living my life as a lie this entire time. What else do we have to talk about 2018? Or should we just go straight into the 5 good things, the 5 bad things, quote unquote?
In a moment, but
okay.
What do you think of the future? 2019, what's going to happen? Give us some predictions.
Let's see, what archetype's going to make a roaring comeback just out of the blue for no apparent reason?
72 pillars.
I'm sorry, as much as I want that to happen for you, it's not going to. I think the archetype that wasn't introduced by Ace, that's going to just come roaring back because something broken Ace did. I'd want to say traps. Now hear me out. I know it sounds redonkulous, but if they give them any more good generic dungeon support, whew, traps are going to be something to mess with, man. Whew. What else? Generally, I think there's going to be a lot of good variety just in decks in general, and should be a fun time. Hopefully, we can go outside of just Chicago for regionals, to see more of you guys. But,
one thing to keep in mind is we will probably definitely, I know Bushi's been playing around lately with it, but it used to be that climax boosters meant the end to a season, right? But now that's kind of shaky. I mean, we had one X set after the climax booster here, but that was kind of because of 5 World Builders' fault, but Japan still got it as an extra. It was messy. Climax boosters are supposed to be in the end, guys. And then X2 happened. So the book of rules is kind of thrown out the window with that. I am wondering whether or not we're going to see like another set after the 2 climax boosters here for Ace before we move into whatever the next season is. But even then, that means at minimum half of this year is going to be new season, Ace 2 or whatever.
Ace 100. Calling it now.
Oh, no.
Yami the return of hundreds.
And
oh, that would be glorious.
I'm going to throw out a prediction right now. I think we're going to see a big new mechanic. Much in the vein that Impact Monsters were a big change for the game in Triple D. Simply for the reason we don't have one this season. There's not one universal new mechanic that every deck will utilize. You could argue Lost World, but I'd argue no, it's its own separate mechanic thrown in at points, but not something that fundamentally changes the design of cards. Impact Monsters is the closest we've got. Also, X didn't really shake things up with mechanics either. You had overturn overkill as the focus, but one, it came into the season rather late, and two, a lot of decks did not have access to it, and those that did, a lot of them only had one card in the deck with it. You know, outside of Thunder Empire Chaos stuff, right?
Sorry, I was reading chat.
So I think we're going to see a big new mechanic in the next season. Something that shakes things up a ton. And I think that's a good thing. I love when they do that as long as it's properly balanced. But I think if that does happen, we will see a lot of the current Season 1 of Ace decks feel the hurt of power creep.
But then again, that just kind of happens with a lot of card games. Some faster than others. You know, Super's I think it's a decent example to show where power creep kind of gets a little out of hand, just from set 1 to set 2 to then set 3 to set 4. But that's besides the point. I still want to keep playing Super, or just at least collect a playset of everything. That's my goal for Super, so that I can be prepared. But this is Buddyfight, not Super.
What do you think, if you had to give a prediction for a new mechanic, just for fun, would be? I'm going to go with impact items. Again, that was my prediction last year. I just really want them to be a thing.
New mechanic, huh? New mechanic. This is interesting. Putting me on the spot like that and all that good stuff. I'm going to say we're going to get some form of hand traps. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think hand traps could be a cool little thing to add into Bushiroad, into Buddyfight. Just because the game is pretty fast. You know, you want to kind of slow it down, put everyone in check. Then again, it might be too overpowered too, because Bushi. So hopefully they're reasonable. Nothing crazy. But who knows? It's Bushi's decision, and they can do whatever they want. You know, maybe they're just going to give us hats that have effects. Who knows?
Chat does not like the idea of having hand traps.
I already know that. It's just, if it's handled right, then it's fine. But if it's not handled right, then it's going to become something stupid. Like some of the...
I totally expect some type of new card type, though. You know? Something new. I mean, even Impact monsters are just a fusion of two of the types. We've never actually gotten a new type of card. It's from the very beginning. It's, you know, impacts, items, monsters, spells. You know?
When I'm talking hand traps, I mean more monsters in a sense, because most monsters are generally a bonus for yourself, not necessarily kind of countering something your opponent's doing. That's where I'm getting at with hand traps, guys, but it doesn't matter. It's a long one. It most likely won't happen. I don't really want it to happen. I just said it because I had no...
Because I put you on the spot with that one?
Yes, so it was the first thing that came to mind.
All right, so I'm going to throw out a couple safe predictions for 2019. Yuga's going to be the main character still. And he's going to have a new deck that's not Deity Dragon Tribes. I don't think he's going to get a new buddy, but he will have a new archetype to play. Maybe Gargo will move over to it. I don't know. I think we're going to see a shrinkage, and that's a weird word, shrinkage of the main cast. The main cast in Ace is very large, you know, because they're, again, like X, pushing two sides against each other, and that makes it easier to have a wide cast. But I think we're going to see a focus stripped down to 2 or 3 characters. Much like 100 did that. 100 did that where the primary focus was on Gao, Tetsuya, and Zanya, you know?
Yeah, that's right. It was on Zanya. I don't remember.
What do you think of that?
Bring back my Rest Ninjas, boys. I want my Rest Ninjas. Yeah, that could be a highly possible, or maybe huge curveball. It's not focused on Yuga. Mind-blowing, right? Instead, it's going to be focused on light, Following me here? Alongside with Dan.
From Bakugan?
No, Dan.
Oh, I thought you said Dan from Bakugan.
I said and Dan, as in Dan. And who else? Who would be the third? I can't remember her name. Amaterasu's buddy. Whatever her name is.
Miko?
Yeah, Miko. I couldn't remember her name to save me. Or is it Mel?
No, Mel's the...
It's fair. It's
yeah.
Hotel. Yeah, that's right.
All right, here's another prediction. And I actually have something to base this off. Vanguard. Vanguard did its reboot with G. And the first season of G had very little influence from the old cast reappearing. A couple did appear in it, but not many.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
I think Ace 2 is we're gonna see the dam burst, and we're going to see a lot more of the old characters showing up. That's how Vanguard did it. You know, the second season of G had tons of the old characters back. That's a pretty safe prediction. Especially since, you know, a lot of us really, really like the old characters and want to see what they look like as adults and whatnot. Especially since it's a much bigger time jump than what Vanguard did. Because I want to say Vanguard's is like 4 or 5 years, whereas this is, you know, closer to 20. It's really interesting seeing how much older they are.
You know what? I have the ending for season 2 of Ace already. It's going to be Gao versus Yuga, right? Gao's going to be using Drum as his buddy. Drum father.
No!
Jokes aside. Jokes aside. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it, though? That would be hilarious.
The fun thing is, like, he was absurdly powerful at the time because of his restriction that it had to be your kid you're fighting.
Right?
But as time goes on, he gets less and less impressive.
Hey, you know.
Got it. We need to retrain. Drum Bunker Dragon Father. If you're fighting against your kid, this card gets plus 10 critical. Its attack cannot be nullified. It gets plus 80,000 power penetrate. And your opponent has to discard their entire hand and loses all their gauge. Keep throwing things on top of it.
What? So I think that's enough rambling. Let's get into the 5 good things, 5 bad things before we ramble out of existence.
Yeah, so we put together a list together of 5 things we really liked about 2018 and 5 things we did not like. And hopefully... we've thought for years now that Bushiroad watches our videos. If not, there have been a lot of really weird coincidences. So hopefully Bushiroad does watch this, and some of this gets passed along, and they can learn from fans' reactions to 2018, some things they can do better or keep doing well in 2019. You want to hit us up with that list?
All right, we want to start with the good, right? Or we want to start with the bad?
Let's go good. Let's go positive.
Good? Positive. Lost World.
Okay. Lost World was fun. I think you like it a little more than I do. So why don't you tell us why it was good?
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Okay. First of all, the border was cool. Let's agree on that. And the card back is awesome. And like, as far as I don't know if everyone who's watching this knows the different Magic the Gathering calls like really casual players who get excited by things with like big stats and crazy stuff that might not competitively be good but is exciting. They call them Timmies. Lost World is the most Timmy thing ever, and I love it.
Right.
It's so cool. The big stats and the fact that you're creating a new flag and the cards have a cool new back and it's a whole new deck. Concept-wise, awesome.
Adds a lot of variety. You know, it can be teched into almost any deck and so forth. That's basically all I have to say about it. You want to get into one bad one real quick?
Oh, are we gonna do?
I'm just want to flippity flop.
You want to flippity flop flop?
Yeah.
Sure. You're the leader on this one.
All right. So our top one on our list for bad is Lost World. Don't worry, Roxas, I got you. It's good for one thing, but it's bad for so many other things. I guess you want me to start this one because.
No, I'll start us off.
Okay.
My first complaint with Lost World was there was not enough incentive to run variants in it. It was there is one set best Lost World deck, and you're playing it if you're playing Lost World.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see more reasons for variety in Lost World, so it's not just a cost prohibitive factor. Hey, you pay $200 for these Lost World staples, or you're not playing Lost World.
Oof, don't get me started on that. I remember when I was pricing out my Lost deck that I have. The fact that it's so hard to get Lost World cards in general is kind of a pain because a lot of them are just harder to get because they're only in a secret pack or something like that, or they're a triple rare, which is for some reason super hard to pull. Maybe just for me, I don't know. It just seems like Bushi introduced this new mechanic but didn't really want to make it accessible to everybody outside of the structure deck, if you want to call it a structure deck. So that's one of my niche problems with it. The other one is, even though it has nothing to do with Bushi, the secondary market is outrageous for Lost World. Holy smokes. Because if I wanted to max ready my Lost World deck, we're looking at nearly $1,000. Just think about it. You hear grand talk when you're talking Magic. Right, Jacob?
You could buy some damaged Power 9 cards for that.
Like, it is kind of destructive. It's a neat concept. It works obviously well in Dimension Dragons because that's their whole gimmick, even though I might try a gimmicky deck with them, but that's besides the point. It's cool. A lot of the cards I think were, I guess, undercosted just because it's in Lost World. Like, I still have problems with the Spell Negate, but it's a Spell Negate. Got to be happy for another one to be introduced at all. And it kind of turns into who can ever get into it first to then proceed to swing at you for big damage.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, there is the problem with it. Because it's essentially a light switch. You know, you flick it on, you've got the stuff. It becomes, for a lot of decks, a rush to the Lost World. And because the access to it is limited to a card in your main board that's at 2 copies, it also adds a little bit more of a luck factor than I feel comfortable with.
But again, that's all card games. Is a luck factor. I'm perfectly fine with it. But it's just the whole thing with it. That's kind of my problem. It's just how inaccessible, because you would think Bushi would want to make it accessible to everybody just to kind of get newer players who want to be competitively viable and are like, well, maybe I'll play Dimension Dragons and kind of go into Lost World and kind of be competitive that way, or something like that, or something like this type deal.
I feel like Lost World's going to go one of 2 ways. It's going to stay relevant and be pushed with really expensive staples, or we're going to get a new mechanic next season that makes it irrelevant and it goes the way of, well, every deck goes. You know, you've got some mechanics like Overturn and stuff that aren't full decks to themselves, and I can see people in the future, if Lost World doesn't keep pace, not justifying keeping it around.
Right.
So, if option number 2 happens, that's just kind of sad for the people really into Lost World, but it could be a good thing as well because it will give Lost World support when it does come out as legacy support a lot more focus.
Mm-hmm.
But if the other thing happens and it sticks around, it would be devastating if Bushi doesn't reprint. Bushiroad needs to be, if they intend for Lost World to stick around, Bushi needs to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Levels of reprint.
For Lost World.
For Lost World. Only for Lost
That's
World.
just for Lost World.
But Lost World staples, if there's something that every deck need to be reprinted. I want them to be reprinted as commons or promos given to every player at regionals. They should be accessible as hell, especially the ones that were in the deck
That
are
could
one
potentially
copy.
be a triple rare foiling too.
Those need to be reprinted. Secret pack cards need to be reprinted. These need to be reprinted like mad if Bushi's keeping them around.
If they are, but who knows? It's Bushi. They tend to drop things every so often. Like, maybe we'll get another overturn or overkill card. Who knows? Things could happen. Impact monsters were still kind of thing in X, so maybe Lost World will continue. But that's enough about Lost World because there's so many cons that we can get into, and that's not why we're exactly here for. So, I realized that this was supposed to be all for 2018, and this seems more about Ace than anything else.
Yeah, X2 was a footnote.
It was just there.
Yeah.
It was just there.
It was
Back
just
to
a
good.
reason to shoehorn out 2 legacy support sets for fanboys.
Right. Hey. I'm a fanboy. All right, so back to a good thing. Good thing. A variety in decks. Jacob?
It's not just we got a lot of decks, but we got a lot of decks that play totally different from one another. You agree?
Yes. They play completely different from each other. They might mimic some decks from the past, but do it better. It happens. It's always a good thing to see that they're always reusing ideas that they think are successful. So,
You know, in a way, a lot of Ace. I truly apologize. A lot of X decks, felt okay. Here's the new flavor of hyper aggro deck. It's purple this time. You know, with the exception of a couple good control decks, we got like Prisms and Water. Almost all of them could fit into that category, and Onis. I'll give them that too. You know, this time the hyper aggro deck has a bunch of swords. This time it's big rock dudes. This time it's size 30 monsters. This time it's a whole bunch of multi-world stuff, you know?
right.
We don't have that nearly as much this season. You still have hyper aggro decks, but there's a lot more variety. Now you've got disruption decks like Godpunks. You have mid-range, I guess would be the term, decks like Battle Buildings. You've got aggro pop-up decks that toolbox kind of weird way, like Folktale. I mean, the fact that I'm even struggling to define some of these decks is a good thing.
Yeah, I could say it. You could say that, right? Especially with some of the cards that are being spoiled right now. Like, Cursed Dragons are basically Black Dragon Death Count again. Except, hopefully faster, better, stronger.
And with an interesting mechanic we haven't seen before.
Right.
Whether or not it's going to play out right, you know, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely say that was a big positive for the game.
You ready for another bad?
Yes.
This might be a little niche, and it might just be me. Then again, I should suspect this from all types of card games supporting main character, but over-supporting Garga. I think it's really just niche in me. I don't know if Jacob has too much to say about it, but yeah, I think it's like redoing Drum's Little Adventure, but on a higher scale and more often. And it just seems like, okay, Deity Tribe's finally kind of getting out of my, oh no, let's make sure they stay in meta. And it's just, I like to see more variety in the meta scene myself, and not just like, oh, we got a Magic World Garga, we got a Katana World Garga, and a Dragon World Garga as your top 3 decks.
I would not say it was that big of a problem in 2018, but I'm definitely scared that it will be a problem in 2019, especially with some of the cards we already know coming out, particularly that new Garga that lets you use any Gargas in your deck. That's even more frightening because it's not just Garga support. It might be support that forces every world to become a Garga deck.
Right. Right?
Yeah.
We might not have much to say about it, but I think it's just more of a niche topic that I shouldn't be too surprised about, but I just don't like how it's going, I guess. Let's go to good then? Or do you want to check your Discord?
Continue. Give us a good.
Good. Supporting villain decks early. Which was it was kind of weird in X, because Oni Assassins, fantastic support early. You kind of sat there. Then Chaos came in and did Chaos thingies. And then Dual Golems came in. They got decent support. Their second wave of support was a little bit better. And then you had, Plague come in towards the end. And it's like, it's kind of a little late because they needed more support. But now, basically, all the villain decks are out. To my knowledge, it could be changing. Outside of maybe one, which should be coming out in the Climax Booster. And it just all seems fantastic. And, like, it all seems to make the decks ready right away instead of being, oh, you got to wait until the second line of support to come out for us to be good. What do you have to say about that?
That was definitely true for some decks. Not all of them, but I mean, I complained when we did some of our set overviews that I'm like, this deck is interesting, but it's not going to be relevant until it gets more support. Drow Meadow was a big example, right?
Whatever.
Drow Meadow was a big example. I said, I'm like, well, this isn't super good until it gets a couple extra cards.
I disagree. I think it was fantastic when it initially came out, and I think that's kind of where we differ on Drow Metal. I liked its initial support. Yes, it still needed a few more things, but there was still enough support in Star Dragon World to jump them into meta relevance of some sort, if that was either Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 1.5. I still think it was a fantastic deck coming out, and it's just going to keep getting better.
I feel that statement could be said for a lot of decks, though.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of anything in Set 1, because everything in Set 1 was amazing out of the gate.
I disagree.
Oh.
I think Astro Dragons were a little lackluster Set 1.
Okay, well, what do you have next?
What do I have next? Bad, huh? It's more of a concern of what will happen for the rest of Ace. The support for kind of one-offy archetypes, and by one-offy, I mean more like they don't have a character in the show to represent the deck, not really getting support later on, or until maybe when they want to do legacy support type deal. So like MAT's battle buildings, just to name two right off the bat. Because so far, everyone has a buddy alongside of them, so they're obviously going to keep getting support until Bushi wants to cut off the character. And it's just like one of my concerns of what I feel will happen with MATs. MATs, fantastic deck. I'm just concerned on what's going to happen to them later down the line. But then again, they also have some cards that people don't like that I still have to mess around with myself, but that's besides the point. What do you think about future support for decks that don't technically have a character in the show?
I definitely like to. I think Battle Building had a character, but it was,
they technically do, but
yeah.
She hasn't used it yet. But
I don't know. I don't watch the anime, so
what?
Yeah, no, I just don't. I'm sorry, guys, I don't. But I would like to say, I do feel some decks definitely need a little more support, and we're getting some of that in the Climax boosters. But some of the decks are going to be left on the wayside. And there are definitely some obvious ones that got crazy support right off to start and then very quickly dropped off the map. Maybe because Bushi was scared of them dominating too much. Godpunks are a good example. Electro Deities as well.
Electro Deities
they
still
did
kept
get a
getting
little
support.
after.
Yeah.
But like there was a freaking main set with Katana support, and they barely got anything, you know?
Well, for good reasons.
Well, yeah, but still, you know, that would suck for an Electro Deity player. But I don't think it's a big issue, you know? It's a nitpick, you know?
It's definitely more of a niche thing, kind of like the whole over-supporting of Garga, but I don't know, that's just me. It's just me. So this next one, for good, Jacob didn't agree totally with me with it, but solid different playstyles in each archetype. It might be niche, I don't know.
Can you explain that a little better for the peoples?
So a great example is after Set 3 gets released, you're going to have basically two main styles of Link Dragon Order. Finally, Size 3. Been waiting for this day. And Size 1s. They're both going to be very solid. They're going to be fantastic in my opinion. I think they're both going to be at least tier 1.5, maybe squeak in tier 1, but then again, there might be 50 decks in tier 1. Who knows? Or even because Christian's kind of running a size 1 Dragon World Garga deck, and you can definitely run a size 2 variant as well. Kind of things like that. And then how Astro Dragons are kind of turning into a size 1 spam deck, or you can kind of stay to the base one and just kind of stick around with that, if that makes sense, if that clears it up for you.
I think I get what you're throwing out, but I will counter with the fact that I think there's an important distinction with that. I agree with you for the main decks that have been supported, but a lot of the side, even the main-ish side ones don't have that. I'd argue you can
Definitely
probably
not
fiddle
God
around with God Punks and do a little different, but you're generally sticking to one build with a couple spicy tech-ins. Folktale, you're playing pretty much one set build, no matter what. There's no difference whatsoever.
Oh, I think you
are a
can.
little
I
flexible.
think you can do it with Folktale. I think you can run a strict size 1 build, and then you can run the normal build of running the size 3s as well.
But still, that's very little.
True.
I mean, one of the biggest focus decks this season is supposed to be Dimensional Dragons. How do you play multiple versions of that?
Oh, it's very simple. You either play the Lost World variant or a Thunder Empire variant, or... Wait, did I just say that out loud? Oh, no, my plans are ruined.
Uh-oh.
Forget that I said that last part.
Yes. All right, do you have next thing on the list? How many do we have left? I lost count.
There should be 3 more left. 3 more left. 1-turn kills is a little high. This idea was kind of driven home thanks to you, Master Will 3. I did watch your video. I didn't leave a comment, my bad. I should have done that. It is a very 1-turn type deal. Like, if you can't kill your opponent on your first turn that you can, then what are you doing with your deck type deal? Versus some other card games like Magic, where it's kind of hard. Great example again from Master Will 3, where it's very rare to pull off a 1-turn kill / very difficult to do. There are obviously some formats of Magic where it's kind of the gimmick of the deck, but that's besides the point. So what have you seen?
I do feel the pacing of the game needs a little bit of an adjustment. And there's a definite big reason I think things are a little too OTK-y, but it's another thing on our list, so I'll hold off on that one. But yeah, I agree. There is a problem with OTKing right now. And it's not just the hyper aggro decks. At this point, pretty much every deck can do it.
Right.
Which doesn't hurt the people who have a good hand to defend against it, But it increases the luck factor. If both players are able to kill on the first turn, Now
my dual golems aren't special anymore. Come on, what happened? Just want to swing at you with 8 crit and then deal you 2 damage. And what else? I lost it. Continue with your thoughts, sir.
So I think, especially for the casual player, that's rough. I think, us more advanced players who play all the time, go to regionals every season, sometimes multiple, we can shake that off, saying, oh, that's just happens sometimes. But for someone who only plays Buddyfight every now and then, and, they grab the new start decks and maybe soup them up a little bit, or, borrow their friend's Blade Dancer deck for a tournament at their locals, they're going to be very turned off by that.
Yeah. Hopefully EC does change that, even though technically they're a counter OTK deck, which my hands are ready. Hopefully ECs will jump up high enough into the meta where they kind of scare people away from the whole OTK factor, because if I do that, then they're just going to strike me down on my turn. So then again, there's things to kind of save the whole OTK thing, but then you're either running too many shields, running too many defensive spells, and then you turn around and can't do anything, and then you basically are wide open for them to do it again. Let's see. What's this? What is this in the chat?
I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Keep going.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. I just wanted to mention it or something, but all right. Maybe more things like what's the Star Dragon World card? That Prism Dragon's got. That's generic for Star Dragon World. That stops after 3 attacks. Stops the attack phase.
Oh, that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Name's eluding card.
You're spoiling one of the other items on our list.
Am I?
Yes.
The
thing I added to the bad list.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Scratch that. So that's basically what I have to talk about. 1-turn kills. You have anything else to add?
Next item.
Got it. This one is by Jacob, the guy who does not watch the show, by the way. The show.
This is a good thing, right?
Yes,
or a bad thing.
It's a good thing.
When you're hearing that from Jacob, it could go either way. Yes, the guy who literally just said 10 minutes ago, you can quote me, I don't watch the show. Next quote, the show's pretty good. But no, Ace has received at least mixed reception, but particularly, I don't think the show's very good. I should specify a little more with it. The characters are good. People like the characters and the character design, and some of the situations they're put into are interesting.
Okay.
I think they're a lot more visually distinct than some of the later characters we got in the original series. You know, that helps, but they're just nice designs. And the overall plot of the show has not been terrible. I definitely not consider, from what I have watched, I got around into like episode 20, 25.
Okay.
And then skimmed some of the others later. That's as far as I've watched. I would not consider this the worst season of Buddyfight. That's a positive.
Yeah.
I would put it under 100, under original.
I'd say it's tied with original.
Above X and Triple D.
I'd say it's tied with the original because I really just think it's a redone original because so far it's gone through all the same stuff and it's now kind of in the villain arc and big corporations trying to implement a tournament to kind of get the good guys and the bad guys to come and fight each other type deal.
But yeah, I think overall, even having an average season is a plus because they're swinging, pretty poorly lately. Triple D sucked. X sucks. X2 was a nightmare. This one's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Comparatively.
Right. That was the last good thing. You ready for the last bad thing?
Yes.
This is another Jacob one. Generic staples.
Yeah, so this is a two-part thing. One, I mean generic staples as in generic cards, like actually on the card text, generic.
Mm-hmm.
The generic support in this season has sucked hard. There's essentially 1 or 2 good cards in this season so far. That's the list. And like Buddy Box, a good card, but we didn't get it. Like we're literally not getting it till now.
Right.
That's ridiculous. 2018 had essentially, Ace had essentially no good generic cards for us to play. None whatsoever compared to X. If there's one of the few things I have to give as a thumbs up to X, X had great generic support. Between the actual chess support, which was awesome. I'd love to see more legacy generic support. But also you had, really good stuff. You had Time Sale, you had Obstruct, you had Loyalty, Chess Break. That one other chess promo I'm forgetting the name of. The one that rests double attackers oops, sorry about that, guys. My hand slipped. Rest double attackers or penetrators. You had tons of good staple generic cards, and we've got none of that so far.
Well, we don't have the quantity, but the quality.
Chess Magic, thank you.
I think the quality is there. Because you have Veil, you have Block, both fantastic cards.
But delayed like crazy.
This is true. Because you can go check Japan's list and they're running an assortment of numbers of them and you're just like, well, I don't have
stop giving us good generic cards as promos, please. Remember when Ace had most of the good ones at, common through rarity? I mean, Obstruct is the exception,
You mean X? You said Ace.
Sorry, X. Yeah, yes.
You threw me for a loop.
I'm sorry, guys.
But, yeah, I really have nothing else to say. It was really more yours if you want to rant on a little bit more
Part
about
2 to that. Generic in-world cards.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other side to it. I know that's confusing because I just said generic before and generic again, but I'm talking about cards that are of a world but don't require a specific
like
art
face seal chain. That was the attack stopper.
This season's been very lacking for that. I'm trying to think of some good ones offhand, but so many, even your basic shields that are good are requiring you must have a deity dragon tribe on the field. Wait, is that the right archetype?
Dragon deity tribe.
That one. You have a battle building one. Must require a battle building on field. You got tons of those.
Right.
But those don't help every deck. And those only help one deck. And so what you end up having with is all your decks have one good shield they can use.
Mm-hmm.
And no other shields. Whereas if you made a couple good generic ones for every world, everyone would have a lot more options. Like we got that one in Hero World that when you would be attacked, you can, pay gauge.
If you have an item equipped.
Whatever it is.
There's the promo one, I should say, which would be my hate towards it is don't make them promos either. Yes, promos are nice and so forth, but don't make cards that people are going to want a promo because...
it should be promos?
What?
Remember when we got joke cards?
You just want that Asmodai, don't you?
I do want, what is it, Shiny Asmodai? But no, like Drum Bunker Father.
You're also on me again, too.
Oops. Drum Bunker Father you mentioned. Stuff like that. We don't get that anymore. We never get joke cards anymore. That would be nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, wacky, weird cards. Give us that kind of stuff. Or give us, basic alternative cards to cards we already have that are maybe different, but not necessarily better or worse, but different. Don't give us literally the most important card for a deck because, one, we end up with delays on them, which sucks. The best example is the one Ninja one we didn't get for 2 years.
Futon, was it Futon Sweep?
One of them. I get the two mixed up, to be honest. But stuff like that always sucks. And plus, you end up with severe shortages and price gouging on some of them. And then you end up with locals that have 10 copies of super amazing staple card. Are they going to give them away? No, they're going to end up selling them on Amazon, eBay, TCG Player, whatever.
Right.
It sucks for everyone. Don't do that.
And yes, there are cards like It's Superhero Time that are fantastic cards. Don't get me wrong. But they're also like triple rares. And like $30 a pop if you just want to buy them or something like that.
Kat brought up another good point. The good staple cards we do get are always too high of a rarity. Looking at you, It's Superhero Time.
And Miracle Fighters, even though that card's not used as much.
Ooh, Miracle Fighters. Ouchie. Wow.
I'm trying to think of another one.
Goryu, Girl.
Oh, don't get
Girl
me,
Daryl.
Don't get me started on Barrel.
Barrel?
Dang it, Will. Not you, Master Will 3. Our friend Will.
The other Will.
The other Will. Trying to think of another one that's not in Katana or Hero World.
Those are all the good staples.
Oof.
That's how short our list is this year.
Do you just need to drop a card for the Dimension Dragon triple rare size 3 that I only have 2 copies of?
I don't know.
When it leaves field, you can discard a card, or it's a Dimension Dragon and check top 4, add 2 to hand, gauge 2.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I mean, I guess I would stretch, even with a stretch, it's hard to count this one, but I'd count the set spell for God Punks for Danger World. That's a good card. But any other year, I would not count that.
Thank you, Agonia. There we go. I would actually argue Ralzus instead of
Agonia is limited to only Dimension Dragons.
I figured as much. I just wanted to double check. It might be the other one. No, the other one requires. There's a card for Dimension Dragons that does it.
You're proving my point more, though.
I think it was
everything's locked off into their own little gardens, and that doesn't make an interesting card game. You know what that makes? That makes Yu-Gi-Oh! But without the fun stuff. Not good.
Oh, you mean the engines?
Yes.
Even though we are trying an engine.
We don't want to be worse Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't know. I don't think Buddyfight could become worse Yu-Gi-Oh! It's still Buddyfight. It's always going to be better Yu-Gi-Oh! If it turns into a Yu-Gi-Oh! Clone.
All right. Do we move on now to the very last thing that has to be said? Or is there more on your list?
Got that. Yep, got that one. Got that one. Got that. No, we can go on to the last thing.
All right, last thing. This is not on our list because I seriously dedicated an entire part of our video to this.
This is all Jacob.
Yep. If you go back and watch our 2018 video, you will literally hear me say the same exact thing right at the end of that video, I'm pretty sure. So I apologize to anyone who knows what I'm going to say. Bushi, what the heck, guys? Please work with your fans, content creators, the people who are live streaming, talking about your game, the people who seriously have made entire websites dedicated to your game, like Buddy Spoiler or Open the Flag. Right. There are tons of those types of things and tons of people, not just me wanting stuff. We've got great content creators. There's an entire list of them. There are so many awesome content creators, and you do nothing whatsoever to support them. And that's really bad. It's not just bad for them because it sucks for them. I mean, not even the bare minimum I asked you for last year was a contact, someone that content creators could talk to. That costs you virtually nothing. Why don't we have that? When you compare this game to literally any other card game, we do so bad because of that. I mean, Bakugan came out, what, a week ago? And the Bakugan people are already in touch with tons of channels. What are you doing, guys? Please say something.
It doesn't have to be us. I honestly could care less if it is us. If somehow they decide to reach out to one or reach out to multiple or so forth, or if they're already doing one or something like that. Like, say, Hunter Surge. Get in contact with him. As much as I know Jacob is crawling in his skin right now, I could just sense
you
it.
said something out loud. Buddy Jacoby is a fantastic channel. Give him free stuff. Don't give us free stuff. You know what? I don't want your free stuff. I will take a contact. Give me an email at bare minimum saying content creators at bushiroad.com, whatever. Give us something like that, please.
But, yeah, it doesn't have to be us, like I was saying. It could be...
Sorry, guys, I got a little fiery.
It could be Buddy Jacoby, Hunter Surge. I'm trying to think. Hyper Potatoes. It could be channels bigger, smaller. I don't care. Just show some type of connectivity. I think they did a little bit with Austin Summers for, like, some time. But I think he only made, like, 2 videos that ever had to deal with Bushiroad. I can't remember exactly. It's been a long time. I'd have to double check. But let us help you, help us help you. You know what I'm getting at? I think you do. I think
the question here, and is if anyone's thinking, you know, even if it's someone at Bushi or someone watching this, oh, they just want free stuff. Working with content creators is a symbiotic relationship. We do get stuff out of it if you would do so. And even if it's not free product, we get, you know, maybe extra information, or maybe it's something as simple as sending us media kits a little early so we can have thumbnails without JPEGs that are of a resolution that would look bad on a MySpace page 10 years ago. But it's symbiotic. Bushiroad would get so much. Why do you think literally every other card game company out there, every single one of them, from the small guys who are just running one that they did on Kickstarter to Magic the Gathering, you know, the one that gets all the money, to Hearthstone, to everyone. Why do they work with creators? Because they get something out of it. It's not a donation to creators. I don't care. Exploit the crap out of us. Okay? Do whatever you got to do, but do something, or else your card games will die. Your card games will not continue to grow in audience. Your card games will have the same size audience, and as people get sick of the game, they'll leave. Where are the new people coming in? Done. End of discussion.
Whoa. That. Woo. Jacob got a little heated there. Woo. But, yeah, after we got Jacob's little rant out of the way, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified on when we live stream or when our next video goes out. Join our Discord. You know, you can chat it up with us. I'm getting better at it. Still not the best at it, but I'm getting better. We got an Instagram. I don't know if Jacob posted anything to Instagram recently or not, but maybe he did. Who knows? Who knows? We have a shop. All links will be in the description down below. Jacob, anything else that's not going to send you into a huge rant that's going to, like,
No.
scare people away?
Thank you guys for sitting through my ranty preachiness. That tends to happen at the end of our videos because I always have a big point to make, you know. I thank you guys so much for watching that. And if you agree, let Bushi know somehow. Unfortunately, I would tell you where to go to let them know, but I don't even know.
And if you disagree, let us know on Discord. You know, if you want to @Ginger to just tell him how wrong he is, or @Chewy. I don't know. I might change my name. It's been a while. I might change it to Chewbacca. Don't ask me why. Or you could. Who knows? Yeah, but I think it's going to wrap it up from us, right?
Yeah.
So above all else, stay classy, y'all.
Oh, and thanks for the super chat.
Thanks for listening to TCG Buzz. New episodes can be found on tcgbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For box openings, deck profiles, and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.